There's a point where effort stops working, not because you're lazy, but because your structure is broken. You can want change with all your mind, but if your rhythm is off, nothing sticks. So this isn't a dramatic reset, it's a practical one. Light, sleep, environment, and choosing conditions where progress is actually possible. Before I say anything else, I want to frame this properly. This video isn't here to justify my life, it's here to mark a threshold. Because there are seasons you carry like luggage, not because you're weak, but because you've been responsible. And the moment you name them clearly, they can finally sit behind you instead of traveling with you. This is one of those moments. When my first wife was pregnant with my oldest boy, I was still working in hospitality. And hospitality wasn't just a job for me, it was my flow state, my presence, people, atmosphere, confidence. I lived in the present moment. I trusted my intuition. Things felt like they worked in my favour, but I also had habits I didn't recognise as habits yet. The after work culture, the hospitality nights, the drinking that felt normal because everyone around you was doing it. It was fun, it was social, it was part of who I thought I was, until life changed the room. Parenthood shifts everything. My wife struggled to sleep until I came home. She worried. Then when I did come home, my snoring from drink became another stress. And slowly that turned into a pattern, then into tension, then into a line in the sand. I'm not telling this story to assign blame. It's what happens when two nervous systems meet responsibility at the same time in different ways. One person goes into protector mode, the other is still trying to be himself. And for me, it didn't just feel like stopping a habit, it felt like losing the environment where I felt most alive, without anything replacing it. That's where the deeper shift began. Around that time, I left hospitality and went into truck driving. I already had my license, it was just something I could fall back on. I chose night shift because it made sense on paper. It meant I could be in proper daddy mode, mornings with my boy, nights covered by his mum. So overnight, I didn't just become a dad, I changed careers too. And that combination strips identity fast. Hospitality wasn't just income, it was how I moved in the world. Suddenly I was in a cab at night, alone, darkness, repetition, silence. And if you've never lived that, you don't understand what it does to you. Night shift doesn't just take sleep, it pulls you out of rhythm. Your circadian rhythm, your hormones, your mood, your patience, your creativity, your sense of time. You're living against daylight, against seasons, against community. Your friends are on one pattern, your family on another. The world isn't built for night living humans. So you slowly withdraw, hobbies disappear, healthy food becomes harder. You grab what works. And when the body is dysregulated, the mind starts searching. You move from presence into thought loops. I went from constant conversation to constant isolation. And that kind of isolation creates its own weather inside you. Not long after that, my dad's cancer came back. And at the same time, my gran and pap were declining with dementia. And this is where life gets real. Because you're trying to be a dad, trying to be a husband, trying to bring money in, trying to hold yourself together. And then grief starts arriving in waves you didn't ask for. My dad died in 2018, my pap in 2019, and my gran in 2020. And in the middle of that, my second boy arrived into the family. And I remember this feeling, one soul arriving, one soul leaving. The circle of life stopped being a concept, it became lived reality. And here's something I learned. People can warn you that things are hard, but you never really believe them until your body knows. It's like children. Everyone says it's hard, you nod. Then you have them and you go, right, this is far harder than I could have imagined. That's not negativity, that's humility. During that phase, I also became fixated on a future rescue. This idea of one day something will come and save me. And I'm saying this with compassion because it happens to a lot of men. When life feels like a trap, the mind creates a door. Sometimes that door is money, sometimes it's a plan, sometimes it's information, sometimes it's a story that makes you feel like you're not powerless. So yes, I went deep into researching, I went deep into ideas, I went deep into thought loops. Because when your external life feels heavy, your mind tries to outrun it. But the cost is quiet. Years start slipping, not just because of work, because your inner life becomes narrow. You're surviving, but you're not updating. This is why I keep thinking about Australia. Because when I was out there, I made a promise to myself. I would do something new every single day, and I did. I met new people, I tried new things, I threw myself into life. I had days where I did something once and never again. But the point wasn't mastery, the point was expansion. And when I came back, I felt like I'd matured years ahead of some of my friends. Not because I was better, because I had a new input, new edges, new courage. While back home, a lot of people were working 5 days a week, same job, then weekends at the same pubs. And I remember thinking, people can age in body, but not in mind. And then the last 9 years happened, and it almost flipped. Because on the surface, I didn't do anything new. Trucking, night shift, repetition. But here's the truth I'm seeing now. Those years weren't nothing. They were shadow years. Not expansion, compression. Not adding, burning off. Not becoming louder, becoming honest. Yin work, subtractive work, quiet work. It doesn't look like growth while you're inside it, but it changes you. On night shift, it felt like my whole week was spent waiting for something to save me. I did 5 nights a week, 10 to 12 hour shifts. I had 8 hours sleep and I did 2 hours of traveling. It just felt like work, sleep, drive, repeat, non-stop. There was no margin, no daylight, no sense of moving forward. I wasn't building a life, I was enduring one. Every second weekend, I drove to Glasgow to see my boys. And me and my wife felt like passing ships. Brief overlap, no shared rhythm. I don't actually blame her for leaving. Who would put up with it? From the outside, there was no visible path out of that pattern. And from the inside, I was too tired to imagine one. Even when I moved back to my mum's, my body didn't know how to change. I went straight back into nights again. The same hours, the same rhythm, different address. We tried again, me and my wife, but nothing underneath had shifted yet. I was still living in the dark, waiting for life to change me, instead of changing the conditions myself. Day shift doesn't feel like an upgrade. It feels like a return to reality. I'm doing Sunday to Wednesday, 5 in the morning to 5 at night, just 4 days. By the Wednesday evening, my week is complete. And for the first time in years, time opens up instead of collapsing. Thursday and Friday aren't recovery days, they're creative days. This is where I get to do this. I wake up with light, I sleep when my body wants to sleep. My patience lasts longer. I don't feel the same pull toward old coping habits because I don't feel trapped. I see my boys every week, not rushed, not exhausted. There's room again for friends, for family, for presence. The phrase night and day isn't poetic to me anymore. It's literal. It feels like a veil lifting, like my nervous system has stepped back into alignment with the world. Not because life is easy, but because I'm finally living in conditions a human can function in. I kept coming back to this detail. It's been about 9 years, and even that wasn't clean. It took months to feel the full weight at the beginning, and it took months to feel the release at the end. Bodies lag, nervous systems lag, but something completed. And the turning point for me was early November, when I went into day shift. That's when everything started to sink. Not because my willpower suddenly became superhuman, because my environment stopped fighting me. Daylight, sleep like a human being, rhythm, and suddenly YouTube began. Healthy habits became possible. Momentum came back. That's not a motivational quote. That's biology and truth meeting each other. I started learning how deeply the human body is wired to light, not as an idea, as information. Light doesn't just help you see, your body reads it as data. Through the eyes, your system gets signals that regulate sleep, hormones, and how your body responds to the world. That first hour of daylight matters. And when you spend years sleeping through mornings, living under artificial light and waking up as the world shuts down, it quietly throws everything out of sync. Nothing dramatic, just cumulative. That's when I realised night shift wasn't just tiring me out, it was feeding my body the wrong information every day. Now we come to the part people love to judge from the outside. Moving back in with your mum. If you frame it through ego, it looks like regression. If you frame it through nervous system, it looks like wisdom. Because what I needed wasn't a big speech. I needed a container. I needed warmth, stability, time and space. A home where I could see my boys more. A home where I could rebuild without financial panic. And there is a strange strength in letting yourself be held instead of holding everything together. That's not giving up, that's recalibrating. And at 43, you either keep pretending you don't need support, or you become mature enough to receive it cleanly, and then build again properly. This is me choosing the second. Here's one of the biggest truths of this whole chapter. Before my identity happened to me, it was built unconsciously, through environment, through habits, through nightlife culture, through performance. Now, I'm choosing it consciously, and that's harder, because unconscious identity comes with momentum. Conscious identity comes with resistance. It asks you to face the parts of yourself you used to soften or hide. And for me, alcohol was one of the biggest, because the fun version of me, the loud version, the social version, it felt easier when drink was involved. So letting alcohol go wasn't just dropping a habit, it was letting go of a social interface. And when that goes, people have to update their relationship with you. Some don't know you, some feel awkward, some miss the old rhythm. And you feel it most around the people who know the old version best. Not because you're weaker now, because they're interacting with an old file of you. New people don't have that file, so it can feel easier with new friends. That doesn't mean you abandon your people, it means you give everyone time to recalibrate, including yourself. This is where we make it practical, because this is mental reset. Here's what I'm learning. You don't get back on track through one massive heroic decision. You get back on track through rhythm. And rhythm starts with light, sleep, morning structure. I watched something that stuck with me. And there was a comment, the first hour of sunlight matters. Daylight through your eyes helps regulate your body, your mood, your energy. So for me, coming off night shift wasn't just a job change. It was me re-entering the human pattern again. And from there, habits stack. Water, walking, filming, writing. Not because I'm forcing discipline, because I'm finally living in a structure where discipline can exist. I'm not trying to become a new man overnight. I'm trying to become 1% better, 1% more aligned, 1% more grounded, 1% closer to the man I already see ahead. One day at a time. Because the truth is, becoming someone new is hard. You're leaving behind patterns that once kept you safe. You're leaving behind versions of you that people were used to. And in the middle, there's that gap. Not who you were, not yet who you're becoming. That gap can feel like failure if you don't understand what it is. But it's not failure, it's transition. It's your nervous system learning a new rhythm. It's your confidence rebuilding without shortcuts. It's your identity solidifying through proof. And if it takes 100 days, fine. If it takes longer, fine. The point is, I'm choosing it now. So if you're watching this and you feel like you're in a similar season, if you're tired in a way sleep doesn't fix, if your life looks the same on the outside, but something inside you knows it can't continue, listen to that, because it might not be collapse, it might be completion. And completion doesn't always come with fireworks. Sometimes it comes with humility, with a job change, with returning to a safe home, with rebuilding your rhythm. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is let yourself be held long enough to become strong again. This chapter of my life, the night shift, trucking, survival identity, coping patterns, I can honour what it did for me, and I can put it down, not with bitterness, not with shame, with maturity. From here on, everything I build gets built in daylight, quietly, steadily, truthfully. And I'll see you in the next one, guys. Slanjiva.